Coming into this season for the Colts, there was a lot of talk about how we needed to get more receivers, right? We were really banking on the fact that Alec Pierce was going to take a jump. We were hoping Josh Downs could be great. Looks like he's continuing to develop. He might be great. Michael Pittman Jr., for the most part, has been Michael Pittman Jr., right? Doing what he normally does. But we need more, right? We need more playmakers on the offense, even with Jonathan Taylor coming back. When we're talking about pass catchers, we just need more. And as I'm sitting here, I'm looking through the Colts practice squad and the receivers that we currently have on the practice squad. Obviously, we have KJ Hamler, who we'll definitely talk about here. We have Racy McMath, DJ Montgomery, who at some point could get a call up if KJ Hamler isn't a regular in the lineup at some point. Amari Rogers, who just got called up this last week and could get called up some more. And also Juwan Winfrey, who's already been called up 3 times. If they call him up again, that'll mean he's the fifth receiver on the 53-man roster. And the biggest question here, looking at all those guys, biggest question is, first of all, what are we going to do with Amari Rogers? Right? We brought him up to the 53-man roster, but I never saw him on the field for the offense, so he's not going to do anything there. So I wonder, are they going to go ahead and bring KJ Hamler up this week? That's something I'm going to be paying very close attention to. And they usually don't announce that until Saturday, so we're a little ways off from that. But also, again, paying attention to the Colts beat writers throughout the week. If they see him in practice with the Colts and see him on the offensive side with the first or second team, that could mean that he's going to be activated coming up. So, going to be watching that situation. I think he's somebody that definitely has the potential to be a playmaker in this league. And the fact that he's just chilling here on our practice squad now is promising. But he's another one of those guys, right? Like he's had the injuries in his career that have gotten him to a point to where he's sitting on a practice squad coming into the league. There were a lot of people thought that he could be a playmaker for the Denver Broncos. Right, you put him alongside Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy when he was coming in. Everything looked like it was supposed to go well, and then obviously his career getting derailed a little bit. And hopefully he's able to stay healthy at this point. And if he can come in and be a playmaker, he's another one of these smaller guys, right? Think about Josh Downs. You think about Isaiah McKenzie. KJ Hamler sits at 5'9", 178. But again, right now, Colts need playmakers. And, I've mentioned a few times about how Josh Downs, at some point, we could see him slide to the outside. And bringing KJ Hamler in, if he's able to work in the slot, then you could slide Josh Downs out and he can start to look more like T.Y. Hilton and start to get more downfield work. We saw Josh Downs get some more downfield work in the game against the Rams from the slot position. So I think that bodes well for what we could see in the future if Alec Pierce has just continued to not be able to be consistent on the outside. And, KJ Hamler, again, a guy that I think could slide into that role. Then we come over here looking at Spotrac's free agent list. And the way they have it, some of these guys are on other people's practice squads. But, if you pick somebody up from somebody else's practice squad, you have to sign them to the 53-man roster. So basically free agents, I see why they do it. But, if I mention somebody that is on a practice squad, just know that's why. All right. But I think, Robbie Anderson is a guy that hasn't really put it together consistently anywhere, had a couple good years in his career. Right now, he's 29 years old. Is he a guy that we could bring in to be a playmaker? Can we have KJ Hamler, right? So, like, why would we bring in Robbie Anderson? And I think is the logic there on that. Kenny Galladay, hard pass. Julio Jones would be interesting because he's Julio Jones, but what's he done lately? You know what I mean? So what can he do for us? I don't know how good he would be to bring in. Jalen Rager, probably not, right? Jarvis Landry, I don't think so. Traquan Smith is an interesting name. Played in New Orleans for a little while. He's another speedy guy, but again, never really put anything together consistently. Sammy Watkins is out here. Injuries is really the story of his career, but he's shown at different times that he can be an explosive playmaker. Couple of other interesting names on this list would be Andy Isabella and Kiki QT. Both those guys, 26 years old. Kiki has been here before, played special teams for us for the most part, caught a couple passes, but a couple of guys with a lot of speed right there. And then again, they're only 26 years old. And then, of course, T.Y. Hilton, still a free agent, right? Hasn't officially retired. He went and played for the Cowboys a little bit last year. He's 33 years old. but he's almost to 10,000 yards as a Colt. It'd be cool to see him get there. It'd be cool to see us pick him up, but I don't know if he'd even be interested in that right now. So we'll just assume that that's not going to happen. So what I think is probably going to be the proper course of action going forward with the wide receivers is, you'll see Alec Pierce out there playing the number two, but I really believe that that's something that as Josh Downs continues to get more comfortable and as Anthony Richardson starts to get more comfortable and they start to develop what they're doing, like if Alec Pierce can't get it going in the next, week, 2, 3 weeks, then, especially by the time the bye's coming around, there's certainly a chance that we could see Josh Downs start to take those outside reps. And especially if they decide to call KJ Hamler up, I think that would be telling of something that could happen. So that's honestly what I'm hoping can happen. KJ Hamler, there was a lot of promise with him coming into the NFL. And I think that having more explosive weapons like that with as creative as Steichen is with the offense, right? Getting JT back and having that explosive element. And then you have the power that you have and the explosive element with Anthony Richardson. You have Michael Pittman. Like at that point, there's so much you could do with the offense, so much speed on the field in that instance, and you have power, right? All the tight ends that we have. The offensive line, when it's healthy, has been great this season. So that's honestly what I'm hoping is going to happen, right? Of course, I would hope that Alec Pierce can continue to get better with AR and that he can figure out how to get open more and be able to get the ball in his hands more and be a more explosive part of this offense. But if he can't, then Shane Steichen has already shown that he's going to hold these guys accountable. And if guys aren't performing, then he's going to figure out how to make things work in a way with guys that will get the job done. Right. And we've been sitting here talking about the Colts receiver position for years at this point, being lackluster, pretty much ever since TY started getting injuries, really started to show how the Colts had a massive lack of depth at the wide receiver position, just never really got better over time. And I think it's starting to get better, right? Obviously, having Michael Pittman Jr., we're hoping Alec Pierce can be that guy, but he hasn't been so far. Josh Downs looks like he is going to be a really good receiver in the league. We just need more of those guys. We need more playmakers. Having JT come back is great. And then having AR is phenomenal. There was some stuff that I saw on Twitter today that I wanted to share with you guys. And the first one is a tweet by NFL Rookie Watch. And right now, Anthony Richardson currently has more rushing touchdowns with 4 than Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs combined. Richardson also has a higher QBR at 53.4, which is measured on a scale to 100, by the way, than Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. Now, to go along with those things, Anthony Richardson leads the league in explosive play rate, which is runs of 12 plus yards and passes of 20 plus yards. So, despite the first game where there was a lot of checkdowns, right, and a lot of, short and to the right is what the first game was. Since that point, a lot of big plays from Anthony Richardson, whether it's on the ground or through the air. So we're seeing that explosive element. When he's on the field, the Colts are scoring more points. That's just evident. The way it's been, he's played 9 quarters. The Colts scored a lot more points with Anthony Richardson than without. Okay, the offense just works better. Now, also, I saw something Warren Sharp put out about how the Colts have, I think it was either 56 or 59% of their drives end in either a turnover or a punt. A lot of the teams were more in the 30s, like a lot of the elite teams were in the 30s. San Francisco is just above everybody else. But overall, right now, the Colts have to get that fixed. Can't be having so many 3 and outs, right? But overall, it seems like they have a lot of possessions every single game. And part of that is because of some of the 3 and outs. But even on scoring drives, because they'll just randomly start running the up tempo and then slow it down again. Like some of these drives are going quick. These scoring drives go quicker. And because of that, by the end of it, the Colts are kind of getting more possessions, it seems like, which means, defense is on the field more. But all in all, again, with Anthony Richardson, this offense definitely works better. But at some point, like something's got to give at the receiver position. And we're in a position where, coming into the season, it was like, oh, we got a young team. Let's see how everybody develops. But after these first 4 weeks, like, okay, we're really actually not that far off. Like, we can compete with just about anybody in the league with Anthony Richardson and with the way the defense can be. We can beat anybody in the NFL. We just, need some help. And having JT back, is, some reinforcements on the way. But I really think that at some point it would benefit this team to have a guy like KJ Hamler that could insert into the lineup and be a fourth wide receiver, come up, be a third wide receiver. However, that's going to work with Alec Pierce and just get some more playmaking ability on the field for the Colts. Really like Shane Steichen's offense, the way he creates plays, the way he creates, a lot of things off of one different play, right? We've seen the Colts score what, three touchdowns and a 2-point conversion on the same formation, right? So the Colts are getting it done on the offensive side. We just need more consistency from the guys on the outside. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get that, but we are definitely in good hands with Coach Steichen and with Anthony Richardson. So I'd like to know what your opinion is of this situation, of all the guys that I named on the free agent market. Is there anybody that you would be interested in us going after there? You let me know down in the comment section. And this Colts Syndicate community is growing quick. We're almost to 900 subscribers already. Whether you're new or returning, if you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button. I surely do appreciate your guys' support. Having a lot of fun through this NFL season with a very fun team to watch in the Colts. Thank you for stopping by to hang out for a little while. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.